Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Happy Halloween and happy Thursday evening, everyone. We have a lot of news to get to this evening, so let's begin. First up, 2019 Halloween trick-or-treating dates, times in New Hampshire. Some communities in New Hampshire canceled their Halloween this evening due to rain and wind and have moved it to a different day. Let's see that list and see which towns rescheduled due to the rain and wind. And here's a look at that list with the A's, and then into the B's, and C's, and D's, E, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, W. And those are all the towns, and as you can see, in parentheses were the rescheduled dates due to the rain and wind. Driver accused of leading police on chase through multiple New Hampshire towns. Jesse O. Rodriguez Ruse faced multiple charges, authorities say. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
It's the party of the season at the Courier Museum. Last year, Masquerade. This Saturday night, the Roaring 20s to celebrate the Courier Centennial. Aerial dancers, contortionists, dancing, heavy hors d'oeuvres, prohibition cocktails. Tickets at courier.org.
Mike, the suspect was located in these woods, and then just after 3 a.m., police brought him down this road where he's taken into custody and arrested. This video captures part of the chase that took place on 93 northbound early this morning. Police say 38-year-old Jesse Rodriguez Ruiz of Lawrence, Massachusetts was the driver and the only one in the car. The chase began in Windham when Ruiz allegedly hit a guardrail, just missing a trooper who was involved in an unrelated traffic stop. As the car headed up 93, police were making numerous attempts to stop Ruiz.
He missed the spikes coming up to the coast, going through a cash lane.
At times, the pursuit topped speeds of 100 miles per hour. Then, in Concord, troopers were forced to break off pursuit as Ruiz got off at exit 13, then back on the highway, heading in the wrong direction.
He should be going, unless he flipped around, he's going northbound and the southbound. Northbound in the southbound.
Ruiz abandoned his car at exit 16.
206, car's clear, he's on foot.
Officials say Ruiz ran into some nearby woods. As a search was conducted by state and local police, a canine joining those search efforts, police combing both sides of Lock Road. Eventually, the dog was able to locate Ruiz, and shortly after 3 a.m., he was taken to an ambulance, and after being checked out, he was placed in a state police cruiser and taken into custody. Police say that Ruiz was not injured. Now, he faces numerous charges, including aggravated driving while intoxicated, possession and transportation of drugs. He was released on personal recognizance bail and is due in court on November 14th. Reporting live in Concord, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Sanders filing for 2020 primary ballot stresses his long-held progressive bond field fights. Vermont Senator won't criticize Warren, but says his own views have not changed in decades. Let's take a look at that video.
It's the party of the season at the Courier Museum. Last year, Masquerade. This Saturday night, the Roaring 20s to celebrate the Courier Centennial. Aerial dancers, contortionists, dancing, heavy hors d'oeuvres, prohibition cocktails. Tickets at courier.org.
Commitment 2020 coverage, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders filing his candidacy for the New Hampshire primary just a few minutes ago. Sanders is the second major Democratic candidate to file so far. South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg filed yesterday. Sanders is holding a rally outside the State House right now. And 4 other campaigns are expected to file for the ballot next week. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker moved his filing to November 15th.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Dover officers unable to determine if candy reported to police had been tampered with. Residents reported candy tasted like soap or detergent, police say. Police officers in Dover were unable to determine whether Halloween candy reported to authorities had been tampered with, police said Thursday. The candy in question was collected by a resident who was trick-or-treating Wednesday, which was Dover's designated night for trick-or-treating in the city. Police said the resident who was trick-or-treating north of downtown Dover said the candy did not smell or taste normal and tasted like soap or detergent. Responding officers couldn't determine if the candy had been altered in any way, police said. While officers were unable to conclude that anything infectious took place, they are urging anyone with concerns about Halloween candy to avoid eating it and contact police. Anyone with information is asked to contact Dover Police at 603-742-4646. Anonymous tips can be submitted by calling 603-749-6000 or visiting www.dovernewhampshirecrimeline.org. All lanes back open on I-293 north in Manchester after multi-vehicle crash. Crash occurred between exits 5 and 6. Let's take a listen to that video.
It's the party of the season at the Courier Museum. Last year, Masquerade. This Saturday night, the Roaring 20s to celebrate the Courier Centennial. Aerial dancers, contortionists, dancing, heavy hors d'oeuvres, prohibition cocktails. Tickets at courier.org.
Breaking news, this time in Manchester, an accident involving several cars is causing severe backups on 293 north between exits 5 and 6. The interstate was briefly closed, and right now one lane is open, but again, expect delays there. News 9 will bring you more information as it is confirmed.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at that U.S. stock market and see how the U.S. stock market closed for this Thursday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Thursday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the red and went down. Your Nasdaq closed in the red and went down. S&P 500 closed in the red and went down. Gold closed in the green and went up. Oil closed in the red and went down. U.S. 10-year closed in the red and went down. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed in Dow drops more than 100 points. S&P 500 falls from record to end October. Stocks fell Thursday despite better than expected earnings from Facebook and Apple and the Federal Reserve's third rate cut of 2019. Investors took a pause and turned their focus to U.S.-China trade negotiations. Twitter bans political ads on its platform. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
I'm going to move to some major moves by Twitter. The CEO, Jack Dorsey, announcing the platform will no longer allow political advertising. In a tweet he wrote, "We believe political message reach should be earned, not bought." So to break all of this down, I'm joined by SiriusXM host Mike Muse. All right.
Oh, what's
Mike,
happening?
this is huge.
This is big.
Yeah.
Good to see you, by the way.
Good to see you, too.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this?
I'm excited, man. I think, for so long, we in the technology community, and we talk about tech policy and tech regulations, we've always been talking about who has the authority to regulate it. And we feel like we need an independent agency in order to monitor all the regulations that's happening because these tech giants are just what they are, giants. And there's always been this notion of they're too big to do self-regulation. But I think Jack just threw it down the table and was like, we are able to regulate, but also to an effective, meaningful, and thoughtful way. For him to say there is a difference between freedom of expression, which is what the tech giants have always said, versus paying for reach, I thought that distinguishment was dead on, spot on, and was right. And was like, yo, the whole platform of social media is for engagement, right? And authentic engagement. That is freedom of speech. But when you're starting to pay for that, that takes away that argument.
So in the meantime, we have Facebook. Do you think this was like a stabbing of Facebook, sort of, putting some pressure on them since they won't take down their false information or any ads with false information in them?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I thought that was a straight dig at Facebook because Facebook's whole notion for not doing anything with political ads has always been about, because of freedom of expression, individuals have the right to communicate however they want to communicate, and it's not our job to authenticate it. It's really the job of the consumer or the user of our platforms to be able to moderate the content, and then for the user to do their own research to figure out what is factual and what is not factual. But what Jack was saying was that, no, there's a difference. That, yes, there is freedom of expression, but when you're paying for that, and then he brought in technology about AI and machine learning and micro-targeting. And so he's saying when you're paying for that micro-targeting, when you're paying for that type of focus and those type of demographic, that no longer really isn't freedom of expression. That's getting around the system of freedom of expression to specifically target, which but then you can use this information for users who may not have time to do due diligence, right? If they see it, because sometimes we still see these platforms as the authority, right? And as you see it like as people are verified and they have blue checks, you know what I mean? And you see with this authority.
Totally.
But if you see that it's not and it hasn't been verified, then that's when it becomes dangerous. What Jack was saying.
Yeah.
He was like, the spread of this disinformation is dangerous when lives are at stake. And that's why he separated commercial use, right? And so I think that was what was brilliant about it.
So that distinction is the key here. So I want to ask you, what do you think this means for campaigns moving forward? Because, they rely on these things.
They do.
These ads on these social media platforms.
They do. I think the campaigns now have to work that much harder now to make sure that it is natural engagement. And I think we'll be able to see a better pulse of where, the demographic is and how they feel about certain candidates authentically.
I like it. Mike Muse giving us the information
Yes.
we need to know.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that did it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Thursday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. Good night and bye, everyone.